Last weekend, the Amity Spartans overcame an early 10-0 Sheehan High School lead to post their first win of the season. Now the Spartans get set to battle the Shelton Gales, another Housatonic League rival that has struggled in the early going. Amity is led offensively by senior quarterback Jeff Love and star running back Brett Dedman. Shelton coach Tony Branca is still haunted with memories of last year's game with Amity. The Gales totally dominated the game, only to come out on the short end of a 6-3 score. R.J. Rondini, the Gales' top running threat, is out with an injury, and the Shelton backfield of quarterback Dan Field and running backs Mark Subkaski and John Eason will have to pick up the slack. From Sim Field in Woodbridge, it's Shelton against Amity in a Housatonic League matchup on Valley Cablevision's High School Football Game of the Week. Hello again, everyone. Ed Clements, Buddy Chernovitz from Simfield in Woodbridge. Buddy, I talked to Coach Tony Branca of the Shelton Gales during the week. I asked him this question: who or what do you stop from the Amity Spartans? You give me the answer.
Brett Dedman has to be stopped if you're thinking of on the Shelton side of the football. Brett Dedman is a football player who's going to carry the ball 30 times for Amity. You've expect a good game from him. If he has a good game, I think the Amity Spartans are going to come away with a W.
The Shelton Gales are going to be without their star running back, R.J. Rondini. Now, Shelton coach Tony Branca thinks that the offensive line, they came alive against the East Haven Yellow Jackets last week. They are the key. They're going to have to provide the blocking for Subkaski and Eason.
Subkaski and Eason are good ball players. Subkaski will get you the 3 and 4 yards. Eason can break it, but it's a new position for Mr. Eason, and he's going to have a lot of pressure on him, and certainly that offensive line is going to have to work hard for the Shelton Gales.
All right, you know both these programs. What do you think?
I think it's a toss-up. Really, it's tough to give one team the advantage. I think the team that comes out and wants to win is going to win this football game. The hitters are going to win today, and it's a close matchup all the way down the line.
Hey, go ahead.
That's it, Edward.
Hey, and we've got a great evening for high school football. We'll be right back with the opening kickoff. Amity and Shelton right after these words. Welcome back, everyone, and we're moments away from the opening kickoff at Simfield in Woodbridge between these two Housatonic League opponents on Cable 10 Sports Valley High School Football Game of the Week. The Shelton Gales are getting set to receive the opening kickoff. Kicking off for the Amity Spartans, junior Justin Higgins. Back deep for Shelton, Alan Keklik. We're underway here at Sim Field, coming to one of the short men for Shelton.
Foot touchdown, Eddie, on the kick. Make contact with the ground, and Shelton will take over around the 28-yard line.
There is a
Except
flag.
that there was a penalty, and they're going to take it all the way back to the 35 and do this one again. Someone's offsides on that Amity football team.
So a 5-yard penalty coming up, and Higgins will be kicking off from his 35-yard line. Just underway. These two clubs won their first football game of the season last week. Gales at home defeated East Haven, and Amity on the road defeated Sheehan High School. So
no common opponents for them, Eddie, so it's tough to judge. They've played different ball clubs and gotten that W, as you said last week. It'll be interesting to see which side brings that momentum out in this football game, because I think it's very even, and the team with the most momentum hits the hardest is going to be the winner.
Aldo is back deep with Keklik. Line drive kick by Higgins. Rolling out of bounds, and that's going to be a procedural penalty again against the Amity Spartans. And now they're going to kick it off, I would believe, at the 30-yard line.
Shelton has an option to take it, but it's down inside the 20. I don't think they'll take that option and force Amity to kick the football again.
So, 2 kickoffs, and still we're not underway. As Higgins will attempt the third time to kick it off, this time back at his 30. And the Gales kick return team moves up a little bit closer, with the deep backs Keklik along with Aldo standing at their 25-yard line. So you got to think that the Shelton Gales are going to open up this football game in great field position, as you see the junior Higgins, and there the indication from the official, illegal procedure on the kickoff out of bounds. Great night for high school football. Almost hesitate to say it, because we've had a string of good weather for these high school games. Hope that the fine weather continues for the remainder of the fall season. Squib kick. Panagiotis with the football, and Panagiotis advances the football to the 48-yard line of the Amity Spartans. Let's take a look now at that Shelton Gale offense.
Eddie, as you pointed out in pregame, Rondini is a question mark, and he will be a big part of that offense if he is not present. But they certainly have an offensive line to open some holes for Eason and Sipkaski, along with Dan Fields.
And they've done a little fine-tuning on that offensive line. Kleinig is now in its center. And just a couple of other minor changes there. Eason with a handoff and being stopped for no gain on the first down play.
Tried to go outside, just a handoff, kind of Green Bay sweep, and Eason took the ball around the far side, was wrapped up very well by Stephen Sarka and company as Stephen came off the corner for a good stop. They lost 2 yards on it. It'll be 2nd and 12.
When we get a chance, we'll take a look at that Amity defense. 2nd and 12. Football at the 49-yard line of Amity. Just underway from here at Sim Field. Eason, the explosive sophomore running back, brings it down to the 45-yard line, where he's wrapped up there by Jennings. And speaking about Jennings and the rest of that Amity defense, let's take a look at that Spartan defense.
It's a very young defense, gotten a lot of experience over the last 3 weeks, and Coach McGowan, the defensive coordinator, is looking for a strong effort from these young men this afternoon or this evening.
3rd and long for the Gales, an obvious pass situation, 2 wide outs to the left side. I formation, Field, the junior quarterback, back to throw, has time, throws it out, overthrows the receiver, picked off, Chernovitz, 40, 45-yard line, and all the way to the 47-yard line. Brad Chernovitz, 6'3", 175-pound sophomore.
Brad just sat back in the zone. Field throws the football right down the middle, and he plays his zone very well right in the middle. And you'll see the ball overthrown. The intended receiver right there. Right behind him, Brad Chernovitz. Very good interception. Brings the ball right back where Shelton started, about the Amity 48. Excellent job. His mother will love him on that one.
Chernovitz, the free safety for the Amity Spartans. Alan Keklik was the intended receiver. And so Amity has the football. Their first possession. Great field position. Jeff Love, the senior quarterback. Dedman, 45, spins outside. 35, 30, 25, 20. Down the far sidelines, Brett Dedman takes it in on Amity's first play from scrimmage.
No flags on that one. Dedman went off tackle. Amity is playing with a wing. They're creating an 8-man front for that Shelton defense. Brett Dedman, we said, is going to carry that football 30 times. In his first carry, he goes 52 yards. Jeff Love just hands the ball off to the single back. He breaks a tackle, then he'll break back to the outside. An outstanding run by the senior, Brett Dedman, who is just getting back to form after a preseason injury that really sidelined him for the first 3 games. Dedman, 52 yards.
Brett Dedman, outstanding running back, second team All-Housatonic League pick last year. You got to think he's going to make that first team this year, and a lot of other honors for the senior running back. Higgins with the extra point, and the Amity Spartans have struck quickly here at Sim Field. They lead it 7-0. Earlier, Buddy had a chance to talk with Coach Barazzi of the Amity Spartans, and he asked the coach if their first win over Sheehan was a momentum builder.
It seems that way, but we had a good week of practice, and last week was our first week with everybody 100%, and I think tonight we're ready to go. Anytime you play a Valley school, the boys get up for it. They're in the same situation as us. Both of us have to get a win tonight, and I think you're going to see 2 good, even teams go at it.
We're back at Sim Field.
Last week, Amity was jumped by the Sheehan Titans and then had to come back, so we'll see how Amity reacts now going on top, 7-0. It's the first time they've been ahead in a football game this year.
Higgins tees it up, and the Gales have to come back from that quick Amity score. Back deep, Aldo along with Keklik outside their 10-yard line. Line drive kick going in the direction of Aldo. That's a free ball. Aldo picks it up inside his 10. And he gets it out near the 20-yard line on the far sideline, where the Gales will go on the offensive, their second possession of the evening.
Good job that time by Higgins getting the ball into the corner. Ball eluded Aldo. By the time he picked it up, he got it back to about the 19-yard line, but that time it worked as the Spartans just tried to kick the ball down. As Coach Marazzi there talking with one of his coaches, trying to get something straightened out on the blackboard.
Out to the left side is tri-captain Alan Keklik. I formation for the Shelton Gales, operating from their 19. Give us to the tailback, Eason. And Eason picks up some short yardage.
May have a turnover, and it is. It's going to be Amity's football on the 20. As Eason turned the ball over, it looks like Dwayne Hager is going to come with the recovery. You'll see just a blast in the middle. You see Gilbert Jennings there getting a piece right there of the ball carrier, Eason. Ball's popped loose right there, and it's down in a pile. The Spartans are going to come out. It's up on top of number 63's jersey, and I think Dwayne Hager is going to get the recovery, number 65, the middle guard for that Spartan football team. They are down at the 22-yard line.
So Amity, their second time that they've come up with a turnover at the expense of the Shelton Gales. Brett Dedman to the outside. And Dedman is knifed under. A fine individual tackle by Darby in the secondary. Let's take a look now at that Amity offense. We didn't get a chance to the first time because Dedman sort of took off on a 52-yard touchdown scamper.
That time Dedman got outside. Good offensive blocking along the line of scrimmage with Youngberg and Steven Kasarka, who's playing that wing. Got himself 3 yards. Brings up a second and about 7 for the Spartans.
We'll look at that Shelton defense after this play from scrimmage. Second down. Amity looking to go up on top by 2. That's Kasarka on a little bit of scissors play, taking the ball down to the 15-yard line. Let's take a look now at that Shelton defense. Football just inside the 15-yard line. 3rd and 4. Still in the first quarter of play, Simfield. Gales have turned the football over twice. First one leading to a touchdown for Amity. Amity knocking on the door again after a second turnover. Love straight ahead, 10-5, touchdown Amity. Jeff Love, senior quarterback, takes it in from 14 yards out.
Jeff Love saw that open middle we saw last week when Cheshire exploited the soft middle, and Love just straight ahead, puts the ball under his arms, follows Jamie Gooch, the offensive center, who makes a good block right here, just giving Love an opportunity to get into the end zone. 13-yard run from Jeff Love after the turnover on Eason's part. 7:50 left to go in this first quarter, and the Spartans have jumped the Gales.
And Higgins will attempt the extra point. And it's through the uprights. With our score, Amity 14, Shelton nothing. Let's break for this timeout. We're back, everyone. Simfield is our setting in Woodbridge. Housatonic League matchup on Cable 10 Sports Valley High School football game of the week. And Amity, with a 1-2 record coming into this game, does not look like a 1-2 football team.
Well, they just jumped. Their offense has just come alive here. We'll see how well they do for the remainder of the game. There's a long way to go here.
Bobby Ayer, one of the short men for Shelton, returns the football in the direction of the 40-yard line, his own 40, just outside the 40. DeMeo on the tackle for Amity.
Shelton now just has to get themselves gathered together and try and utilize what offensive powers they have, that good offensive line, and get Sipkaski and Eason the ball. Eason's got to hold on to that football, obviously. But this game is a long way from over here with 7:32 left to go in this first quarter.
First down, inside handoff. That goes to Sipkaski, and Sipkaski advances the football over the 45-yard line to about the 46-yard line.
Just a little belly inside. Good yardage for Sipkaski, as that's the first time he's touched the football. And Shelton is just going to get back to the basics. If they forget about the score and just play their game, they may get themselves back into this football game. It's going to be close all the way down.
Darby out to the left side, I formation. Sapkowski is the fullback, the tailback is Eason. And Eason gets the call. 45-yard line, gets to the outside, 40. It's a foot race, 30. 20-yard line, looking for some blockers inside the 10-yard line. The sophomore, John Eason, before he's taken out of bounds by DeMeo.
There's a great film on how not to make a tackle by the Spartans, as they just totally avoided contact with Eason as he breaks here back into the inside. There's a miss, and then Eason just does some magic. He gives you a lot to look at. Right there, Brad Chernovitz with a miss. He just grabs air. Stephen DeMeo right here will just fall down, number 11. There he is. Or Stephen Kasarka goes down, and then Eason to the 5-yard line with a great run. And as I said, DeMeo runs him out. It's going to be a football game here.
Two wideouts either side of the field. First and goal. They give it to Sapkowski, and Sapkowski in for the score. The senior tri-captain. Not even one half of the first quarter played, and already these high schools have produced 3 touchdowns.
Sapkowski now just comes right over on the belly. Good down block, and it brings Sapkowski into the end zone for Shelton's first score, 6:40. We haven't even played 6 minutes of football here, and we've got close to possibly 21 points on the board as Rondini is out to attempt the extra point.
Now that is one area that RJ has gotten complete coverage to participate in tonight's game, and that is kicking. As an elbow injury suffered in that East Haven win last weekend, and RJ kicks it through the uprights. Earlier, Buddy caught up with Coach Branca of the Shelton Gales, and he asked the Shelton coach the same question that he asked Coach Marazzi, and that was the Gales' first win of this season a momentum builder?
Well, hopefully they will. We had a good week of practice. That win was what we were looking for after being 0-2 against 2 good football teams. The team, as I always said, needed maturity, and that helped in our maturity process, and hopefully that we're going to maintain that for the rest of the season.
Welcome back, everyone. "21 points, 14-7.
We said it'd be close. We didn't say how many points they would get. It's going to be close. Both offenses have opened up a little bit, obviously, in the first 5 minutes and 20 seconds here to put the 21 points on the board. Both teams found difficulty in making first downs in the first 3 weeks, and right now they are able to move the ball and to put some points up, and we'll see if it continues or whether the defenses get back to where they were in the past 3, being able to control and to play strong defense.
RJ Rondini kicks off, back deep. Peterkin to about the 28-yard line, where he stopped there by the Gales.
Kurt Peterkin takes the ball at the 8-yard line and comes straight up. He'll run into the wedge here, which stops his momentum. There's the wedge, and he has really no place to break out of it. Sapkowski in on the tackle, along with help from a number of other Shelton specialty players, and Amity is right on about the 27, 28-yard line.
Now we'll spot it at the 28-yard line. Amity Spartans with that double tight end, giving you that different look. That's Kasarka going in motion. The give is to Kasarka. Kasarka getting outside of contain as a flag is dropped at the line of scrimmage.
It's got to be against the Spartans from where it came. The umpire, probably some type of a holding penalty, and that one will be brought back as Stephen Kasarka goes to the outside off the wing for good yardage, but as Eddie Ardito is going to signal here, I think it's going to come back. It is. It's a hold against the Spartans, and that will back them way up to about the 15-yard line. You see Kasarka start short motion to fake the Deadman to hold the linebackers, and then he gets outside to contain. See if we can pick up the hold. Looks like right there, 55, Gilbert Jennings extending his arm. And that'll be brought back as Kasarka was close to first down yardage.
Football brought back inside the Amity 20-yard line. And a 1st and 20 coming up for the Spartans. Youngberg, the tight end, to the right side. Paps, the tight end, to the left side. Love gets it off. That's Deadman on the receiving end. And Dedman picks up an awful lot of yardage on the 1st and 20 as he gets near the 35-yard line. Finally hemmed in and taken down by Ray Sawyer.
Dedman will hide inside at the tackle. You'll see him step up. 19, the end clears, and then Jeff Love does a good job sewing the screen and getting the ball to Dedman, who just takes it from the outside, and it's a foot race. Dedman across the 20 there, you see. Gooch did not get a chance to throw a block, but he's picked up and tackled from the backside. Number 85 got in with some help from others before Dedman picks up about 17 yards on that.
Second down, 2nd and 6 for Amity. Kasarka trying to get outside, and he advances the football over the 35-yard line to the 36. Dan Chavs on the tackle for the Gales.
Here's the same play that Kasarka made good yardage on a minute ago. He just comes from the short motion in the wing position. Dedman on the fake, and then Kasarka to the outside, picks up about 4, brings up a 3rd and makeable on a very long 1st and 20 situation. Kasarka dragging to about the 36, 37-yard line. Big 3rd down for the Spartans.
3rd down, 3rd and a short 3 or long 2, whichever way you want it. That is DeMeo in motion, and flags are dropped as Love goes back to throw, swings it out, completes it to the big tight end Youngberg, and Youngberg advances the football close to midfield. He's taken down there by Rob Darby, but let's hold the phone, that might go back.
It's going to be against the Spartans as they've got someone either in motion or a legal shift. DeMeo comes in motion across the formation. Snap of the ball, it wasn't DeMeo. Love does a good job stepping up inside the end. And there is the throw catch to Nathan Youngberg, the big tight end. But it's going to be brought back and bring up a 3rd down. Good play by the Spartans, but all for naught again. Penalties have hurt them in this first quarter, although they all enjoy a 14-7 lead. They've made some mistakes on offense and on defense on tackling Mr. Eason on his long jaunt to the end zone, toward the end zone.
Football outside the 30-yard line. 3rd and 8 now.
They've got a trips formation, and Shelton has not adjusted to it.
Love wants to put the ball up. Overthrows the intended receiver DeMeo at the 45 of Shelton. Johnson, Darby, and Keklik all in on the Shelton coverage.
They got Stephen DeMeo running open. As you see the trips formation, Love comes, and then will step up. Dedman rides the end outside, and then Love just overthrows a wide open Stephen DeMeo as he was wide open down the near sideline. Brings up a 4th and punting situation. The Spartans are going to have to give the ball back to the Shelton Gales, who just put the ball in the end zone. So we'll see defensively what adjustments Amity has made after that touchdown.
Johnson along with Rob Johnson along with Alan Keklik back inside their 40-yard line. The punter is the All-Housatonic League punter, Brett Dedman. Fair catch called for by Johnson at his 35-yard line, where the Gales will put it on offense again.
Excellent punt by Dedman. That's the first time he has punted in a game situation. Was unable to play really the first week other than to just run a little bit at tailback, and then the second week he did not play at all. Last week he had a good game against the Titans but did not punt the football, and this week the doctor has given him clearance to kick, and he is an added weapon for the Spartans because he can get that ball 35 to 40 yards down the field.
Twins out to the left side for the Shelton Gales. 1st and 10, football at their 34. First quarter action from here at Sim Field. Split backs, and John Eason, sophomore running back, gets the football into Amity territory and picks up a Shelton Gale 1st down. John Eason.
They're running to their tight end away from the 2 receivers. They just pitch the ball and let number 79 get out in front of him, or 75, Dennis Bobby. He just turns upfield, provides that convoy for Eason, and Eason picks up a big 1st down just over midfield, about the 49.
Twins again out to the left side. 1st and 10 for Amity. Check that for Shelton. Inside handoff to the fullback. That is Mark Sapkowski.
Little belly, Sapkowski scored on, and that was the first play. Shelton made positive yardage, as you see Nathan Youngberg there, the big tight end for the Amity Spartans, and he goes at 6'6", 235. Amity'd like to get him the football as much as possible in that game, especially from his tight end position.
Darby along with Keklik out to the left side. John Eason is not able to get past the line of scrimmage. The Amity Spartans get John before he can make that move past the line of scrimmage. Dwayne Hager on the tackle for the Spartans.
Eason comes straight up with Subkaski on the lead. Hager just plays off the block. Dedman gets him first, and then Hager wraps up. Brett Dedman with the first tackle coming from his defensive end position.
Now, Brett Dedman, of course, started on defensive end, but Coach Marazzi, whenever he can, he likes to get him off defense because he's such an intricate part of that offense. He's going to carry the football 25 times a game, but Brett Dedman can play in both sides of the football. Eason, as a flag is dropped on the far side of the field, Eason advances the football across the Amity 40-yard line, taken down by Chernovitz and Kosarka.
Short motion that the Shelton Gales have used the last couple of years with that fullback and then giving the ball to the tailback. You'll see Subkaski in short motion, then he turns up early, and that's the penalty that allows Eason to get to the corner. Eason does a great job when he gets the football. He's got rockets who finally run out of bounds, but he would have had the first down again. Shelton now, mistake on that big third down. The Gales failed to convert that first down. It'll be a big 3rd and 10 for them, as you see number 11, Stephen DeMeo, who calls the offensive signals for the Spartans going back to the huddle. Or the defensive signals, excuse me.
Alan Keklik out to the left side. 3rd and 11. Field, play action. Completes it down to the 40-yard line, inside the 40 for a Shelton Gale first down.
Mike Slomsky, the linebacker, didn't get there in time. Field had pretty good pressure put on him by the top side end, and he throws the ball just before he's going to take a sack. Right here you see pretty good pressure, but an excellent throw by Danny Field is wide open in the flat for the reception is number 19, and that is
Steve Kroc.
Steve Kroc, who made a good reception for the first down, and it's down at the 35.
Kroc in at tight end on that play for Glenn Blanchette. Inside handoff, Subkaski slides to the 30 before he's taken down there by Jennings.
Good yardage on that first down carry for Mark Subkaski. He just comes with the belly. They've been using this continually for the Gales, and he breaks off a block inside for good yardage, pulls himself ahead for about 6 yards. So it's 2nd and short for the Gales inside the 30-yard line, right around the 29.
That offensive line for the Gales, a key in this game, according to Coach Tony Brankett, opening up the holes early on. Eason stopped, slowed up at the line of scrimmage. Jennings, Dedman in on the tackle for Amity.
Dedman is going to get the first hit as he comes right across here. You'll see him get a piece of Eason, and then he'll get help, but the tackle basically by Brett Dedman. Jennings wraps up at the end. Dedman is coming untouched from that defensive end position, and Shelton's going to have to make an adjustment. He is coming free along the line of scrimmage.
3rd and 3. Football at the 28-yard line. Eason is stuck at the line of scrimmage. Stopping him there, co-captain Jennings.
Gilbert Jennings just broke through a block. He hit Eason before he hit the line of scrimmage, and it's a loss for Shelton. You'll see Gilbert Jennings come into your picture, number 55, right here, and Eason has no place to go, as they did a pretty good job in stopping the power I right at the line of scrimmage and then dragging him back. It's a 4th down, makeable for the Gales, but 4th and about 4 as they're back to that power I.
Football at the 29 of Amity. They have to pick up a good 4 yards on this play. Power I formation. They give it to the tailback. Eason trying to pick his way, unable to do so. Stacked up behind the line of scrimmage. And so the Spartans will take over on downs. Jennings along with Cox on the tackle.
Good defensive series for Amity that time, as you see them come off that corner and just really hurdle over people to stop Eason, way short of that first down marker. The Spartans will take over at their own 30-yard line. 34 seconds left to go, and a very, very interesting first period of football.
Single back offense. Dedman is the lone setback. Double tight ends for the Amity Spartans. And they give it to Brett Dedman. And when Dedman gets the football, you're going to have a lot of defensive players converging on the senior running back.
Well, Dedman is a person that you're going to key. Obviously, he's the only guy back there. But Dedman, with 8 people across the front, it gives some space for Dedman to run, and they're trying to create some lanes for him to be able to just use his natural abilities. He picks up 2 there, because you saw in the first series, if he can get a hole or get a seam, he's going to run with the football. As we come to an end to this first quarter of exciting football at Sim Field.
We played 1 quarter. Our score is Amity 14, Shelton 7. We're back to begin the second quarter here at Sim Field in Woodridge. They're waiting because they have to adjust the clock here. 12-minute quarters in high school football, and just a moment they will have adjusted it. And we're at 12 now. Second down for the Amity Spartans as the Amity Spartan marching band cooperates by ceasing to play. Dedman again. And Dedman off the right side drags a couple of the Gales with him on the second down carry. Rob Johnson from the secondary on the tackle for the Gales.
Dedman goes off tackle to the wing side and just runs up inside. Good block in there, gives him about 4.5 to 5 yards before he's wrestled to the ground by number 24 for the Derby Red Raiders, and that's Rob Johnson, the sophomore, getting a chance to start in there, the 5'9", 145-pounder, as you look down that Amity sideline.
3 receivers out to the left side for Coach Len Butch Marazzi's team. 3rd and short. Love swings it out. It is incomplete. Johnson went for the interception and goes as an incompleted pass. Coming out of the backfield, the intended receiver was Kasarka.
They went to the trips again. Love gets good pressure inside as Dedman does not really attack the end. He forces Love to get a lot of people in his face, and then he throws a very poor pass here. Lucky it's not picked off as the ball is thrown short for Stephen Kasarka, and it brings up a punt situation.
Brett Dedman will be punting the football away. Just underway here in the second quarter. Amity leads it 14-7. Johnson along with Keklik, and Dedman punts it away. Football bounces sideways and out of bounds on the Amity side at the 43-yard line. The Gales, excellent field position.
Well, after each team touched the ball, Amity, 2 touchdowns, and then Shelton 1. We've quieted down here a little. The defense has taken over. Amity with a good defensive series. The last time in Shelton with an excellent defensive series, getting their team the football at the 43-yard line as they're back in business, looking to tie this football game up.
2 wide receivers out to the left side for the Shelton Gales. First down at the 43-yard line. Eason is hit in the backfield. Jennings, matter of fact, our Fitzpatrick's Player of the Game award winner in this football game last year in Shelton.
Gilbert is a wrestler, and he does very well just getting through, as you see there, swimming, as the defensive terminologist used, swimming across the head of that center, getting in the backfield and dragging Eason down for a big 4-yard loss.
Second down for the Gales. Darby along with Keklik swinging out to the left side.
They're going outside to Eason on a pitch.
Sipkaski in motion, and Eason on the quick pitch from field, and Eason brings the ball close to the midfield line, and Kasarka on the stop for Amity.
If Amity does not read that by the second half, somebody's got to get arrested, because they're just going to send Sipkaski in short motion, give the ball to Eason, or they will obviously have a play back off that with some type of counter where Eason just takes a step and tries to come back away from that motion. But those are the only 2 things they can really do out of it. Brings up a 3rd and about 5 for the Shelton Gales.
Keklik now out to the right side, I formation. Field on the option, picks it up, pitches it out. That's Billy Dean, who's been inserted at the tailback spot. Billy Dean, the quickest player on the Shelton team, for the first down.
Fake inside to Sipkaski on the counter option, and then Field just comes out, pitches the ball excellent off of Dedman, but there's no corner at home, and it allows the halfback to get up the field for a big Shelton first down.
Kasarka along with Slomski on the stop for Amity, but not before the Gales have picked up a first down at the 46 of Amity. Split backs for the Gales.
Looks like somebody's offside there, but looks like he's over the ball as the tight end comes right out and catches
Blanchett
it.
on the pass from field over the middle. Another first down at the 32 before he's taken down there by Slomski and Chernovitz.
They just got Blanchett right out in the seam. Great throw by Danny Field. You see him as Youngberg tries to release on him. Blanchett just gets into the seam, and then number 12, Brad Chernovitz, is going to come up with the first hit, along with Slomski wrapping them up, and they're down to about the 33-yard line. Another big first down.
First down for the Gales at the 32. Billy Dean explodes off the right side, and the Gale coaching staff has been waiting for Billy Dean to do his thing. Billy Dean down to the 20 before he's taken down by DeMeo and Slomski.
Youngberg just gets turned out here. Look at number 81 get turned down. They just come inside him. And Dean does a great job. Again, number 12 coming in on the tackle. But the defensive secondary is making too many tackles for the Spartans right here as the Shelton Gales rip off another first down to about the 20.
Gales have looked impressive on this march. Split backs for the Gales. Billy Dean again. Dean to the outside for some good yardage on first down. Number 40, Billy Dean. 5'9", 169-pound senior running back.
Dean comes outside, excellent down blocking all along the line of scrimmage, and Dean just turns a corner. There's nobody there. Again, Youngberg gets turned inside. Number 12 again, Brad Chernovitz on the tackle, but he's down inside the 15.
2nd and 4. Back to the I formation. Give inside. That's the tri-captain, Subkaski, close to the 10-yard line.
Very close to that first down. Subkaski on the quick belly inside for good yardage, and it brings up a very makeable 3rd and about 1 right around the 10-yard line for the Gales.
Slomski on the tackle for the Spartans. I formation for the Gales. 3rd and short. Subkaski for the first down off the right side. Cracks it inside the 10.
Subkaski for the first down. He's following the guard and tackle right in over Sylvester and Bobby for a good yardage and another first down. 5th one in this drive for the Gales is the Amity Spartans will take a timeout with 7:41 left to go.
And with timeout on the field, let's take this timeout. First and goal. Welcome back, everyone. Inside the 10-yard line. First and goal. The Gales have it at the 8-yard line. Sustained drive. Dean to the outside from that tailback spot, and Billy gets it close to the 5-yard line. Wrapped up there by Chernovitz, DeMeo, and Slomski.
They come with everybody on the corner, and they just drive people back off the ball as Dean is doing an outstanding job. You see Youngberg getting pushed back. He's not even a factor there as Chernovitz and Slomski make the tackle, but not before Shelton goes to the 5-yard line, and they're going to take the timeout this time with a 2nd and goal right at the 5. Interesting football game, Edward. There's been a lot of offense here. Defenses have each come up with one series, but other than that, it's been the offense that's really shined so far in this football game.
Amity got off to a very quick 14-0 start here. 2 turnovers right away for the Shelton Gales. Brad Chernovitz intercepted Field early on, and brought the football back to his 48-yard line. The first play from scrimmage for Amity then saw Deadman take over, 52-yard touchdown run. Shelton went on the offense again. Again, a fumble deep in Shelton territory, and Love eventually taking it in from 15 yards out, make that 13 yards out, and conversions were good. Amity quickly led 14-0. Now Shelton, their next possession, drove the football down the field. Big run by John Eason, and Subkaski took it in from 5 yards out. Rondini converted. That's where we stand. 2nd and goal for the Gales at the Amity 5-yard line. Split backs. Subkaski tripped up by Sirowich.
David Sirowich just came through the gap between the center and guard, and he just tripped up Subkaski. You see Sirowich right there as he does a great job, just gets his hands up. All you're asked to do on goal line, David Sirowich did, and Subkaski maybe gets a yard on his forward progress down to about the 4, brings up a 3rd down, and for the Shelton Gales, tough decision when you've got Mr. Rondini over on the sidelines, because if they don't make this touchdown, they have to make that decision about using Rondini in the field goal.
3rd and goal, and we have flags dropped before the play began.
Amity took a timeout that time, so we've had 3 timeouts on 3 successive plays. You see Eddie Ardito there signal the timeout. Something offensively on the side of the Gales forced that timeout by the Spartans, as they need an adjustment time on 3rd and short to make that adjustment, because something that the Shelton Gales did on offense, the Amity Spartans were not ready for defensively. 3 timeouts, Eddie, tough to fill here for us, huh, boy? It's been a good one, though, and everyone here has certainly enjoyed this first half. We're only halfway through the 2nd quarter. For 2 football teams that have had difficulty putting points on the board, they've certainly been able to move the ball against each other here in this first half.
Football just inside the Amity 5-yard line. 3rd and goal for the Gales.
Coach McGowan, who handles the defense over on his side, and there you see Howie Gura out on the offensive side for the Shelton Gales, the offensive and defensive coordinators respectively for the Shelton and Amity Spartans. And you see the Spartan going through the stands, the mascot of the Amity Spartans, trying to get a little bit of the crowd involved in this goal line stand for Amity.
John Eason back in at tailback. He's alternated there with Billy Dean. The fullback is Subkaski on the 3rd and goal. They give it to Dean, rather check that to John Eason. Eason tries to get it outside, gets down to the 1-foot line before he's tackled by Brett Cox.
The Monday morning quarterbacks now make your call. You've got Rondini as a field goal kicker. As you see Eason just come on the blast off tackle. Eason just picked up 4 yards on this play. Now you're a yard short of the tying touchdown. What do you do? And another timeout, so we've gone 4 successive plays here. 4 successive timeouts.
So the ball resting on, let's call it the 2-foot line. Not even a yard out. 6 minutes, 1 tick remaining here in the first half of play from Sim Field in Woodbridge. Amity Regional, home team against the Shelton Gales, the visitors. Cable 10 Sports Valley High School football game of the week. Both Housatonic League rivals, both 1-2 on the season. Only difference is that the Shelton is 1-1 in the league, and the non-league loss to Ansonia. And Amity, all of their games, their 1-2 record in the Hoos.
Amity's non-league game will come for them next week, as they'll go down to foreign. The Gales have already played that non-league game, as Eddie just mentioned. Right now, Shelton about 2 feet away from the possibility of tying this football game up, as Dan Field back out of the discussion with the coaches on the sideline, and he's ready to go.
Power I formation. Bobby Ayer in as a blocking back on 4th and goal from the 2-foot line. Touchdown, Shelton.
Looked like Subkaski just straight ahead for that touchdown. No questions, the officials right up with the signal as Subkaski into the end zone with his 2nd touchdown of the day. And right now, 1 point separates his football team, as R.J. Rondini will try and tie it up. So the Shelton Gales have answered the 14 points that the Spartans put up, and with 6:30 left to go here in this second quarter, they have come within 1 point of tying this game.
RJ will attempt to knot things up here at Sim Field. And the tri-captain ties it up. 6 minutes, 3 ticks remaining here in the first half, and Shelton has stormed back after an early 14-0 deficit, and they've tied matters up here at Sim Field.
Spartans are going to have to go buckle up their helmets now and do something offensively, because the Gales have answered the 14 points that the Spartans put up, and the Spartans sort of took a holiday here for the last period of football after they scored and have allowed Shelton back into the game. Momentum swing, very big momentum swing on the part of the Shelton Gales, and right now their football team enjoys that 14-14 deadlock, and they're looking to get the ball back and to get some more in this second quarter of football. They've been able to really power the football right down the field against Amity. The Spartans have been unable to take that offensive line on one-on-one. They had 5 successive first downs in that last drive of 10 yards on each play and really marched the football right down the field to get the tying score.
Peterkin along with Kasarka deep for Amity. In your picture you see Rondini. Next to Rondini there is Dan Chavs on the kickoff team. RJ line drives it. Inside the 10-yard line, it's as soon as it hits the plate at the end zone, automatic touchback. Ball will be brought out to the 20-yard line.
And that's a break for Amity because Kurt Peterkin really had no place to go and an awful lot of white jerseys right in front of him. You see the ball will get by him, and luckily for Peterkin, that ball rolls into the end zone, and it will give Amity at least a starting field position. They would have been backed up way inside that possible 5-yard line on this series.
Let's see what the Amity Spartans can do as you get a look at the 4th-year head football coach here at Amity High School, Glenn Butch Marazzi.
Nobody's worked harder at putting a program together than Coach Marazzi, and he certainly is hoping that his football team is ready to show some of the benefits of that hard work.
Single back offense. That is Dedman streaking through the center of the line. 40-yard line, 45 into midfield goes the star running back Brett Dedman on first down. Finally wrapped up by Rob Darby in the secondary.
Dedman gets a good block as he just breaks a seam, and when Dedman gets into the secondary, you're going to really have to wrap up and tackle as he's got great speed, and he's a big guy to try and drag to the ground as he's right up in midfield after an excellent 30-yard run by Brett Dedman.
Get out the calculators because we have had a whole lot of offense here in the first half of play.
Who said these teams couldn't move the ball?
Scissors. Kasarka, 45, 40-yard line, close to the 35-yard line as he drags Gales with him. Again, Darby checked at Rob Johnson in the secondary on the tackle.
Kasarka comes deep on this scissors play. A lot of penetration by number 55 before Kasarka gets the ball. That's Ray Sawyer, and then Kasarka picks up a big first down as he drags his way down inside the 35, 36 to about the 35-yard line.
First down for the Amity Spartans. Single back offense, Brett Dedman. Love, the soft middle on the defense. Love takes it for 6 yards as he gets across the 30-yard line to the 29.
Love just puts his head down again. He went 13 for a touchdown. Again, just soft middle, as Ed said, and he just picked his way forward almost to the 30, across the 30 for a big 5.5 yards on that play. Good job by Jeffrey Love, the senior quarterback, who started out on this football team as a tight end once upon a time and has worked his way into the starting position at quarterback.
Happ sets up as the tight end to the right side. Youngberg tight end to the left side. Double tight end, the pitch. Dedman, 25, 20, inside the 20-yard line and the near sidelines, out of bounds. Johnson around the tackle along with Keklik, Fetty, and Panagiotis all around the football for the Gales. But not before Amity has picked up another first down.
There's some great blocks out here. Right here, number 20 makes a great block for Amity. and that's Heath Cunningham allowing Dedman to get to the corner and inside the 20 to about the 17-yard line. Also, Youngberg with a pretty good block coming off the line of scrimmage.
Double tight end. First down for Amity. Love again.
Love is going to take that until they take it away from him, as this guy is just playing tough football at the quarterback position as he gets ahead for about 4.5 more. You see they're giving him a soft middle, and Love just takes advantage of it. He's a tough guy in there as a quarterback to pick up that yardage. Good job by that quarterback number 10, Jeffrey Love.
Dennis Bobby comes in, defensive tackle. Leon Sylvester out of the lineup now for Shelton. Second down for Amity. Marching down the field after the Gales tied this game up. Dedman off the right side to about the 10-yard line.
Dedman with the belly right off tackle. He's following the blocks of Audi and David Serwich, along with Youngberg, as he just comes off there and picks up good yardage very close to that first down. You see Audi there, number 74, leading him, and he drags himself very close to the first down. It'll bring up about a 3rd and 3 for the Spartans.
Jobs along with Netavaska on the tackle for the Gales. 3rd and 3. Love wants to put it up. It is complete inside the 5-yard line. First down to the tight end, Nate Youngberg.
Youngberg just runs a quick out on this. 81 comes off the line, gets outside. Love rolls, Dedman kicks out, and Jeffrey Love hits Youngberg with a good throw, and he'll be down very close to the goal line, around the 2.5-yard line, inside the 2, probably around the 1 for a big first down for the Spartans. As you can see that ball as we look right down that goal line, the far side of the hash. The Spartans about 1.5 yards away from going in to go ahead in this football game, as they have answered the Shelton score with a pretty good drive of their own. Brett Dedman, the major part of that drive, as we have said all night.
First and goal inside the 5-yard line as Wishbone for the Amity Spartans.
Too much time for the Spartans, and boy, that can kill a drive as they do not get their football team in, and they're going to be backed up now to the 6. Unable to get the play off. It's first and goal from the 6-yard line. I wouldn't be surprised if, with all those timeouts exchanged on the last goal line stand for the Spartans defensively, that they don't have a timeout themselves right now with 2:36, 2:37 left to go in this first half of offensive football here at Sim Field.
So now first and goal.
They go out of the bone back to their spread.
Single back offense. Kasarka wing to the left side. The pitch to the short side to Dedman. Dedman spinning off tackles and getting inside the 5 to about the 2-yard line. Taken out of bounds eventually by Ray Sawyer.
Pitch to Dedman. Dedman will come to the outside. He's got good blocking for Surridge. Look at Youngberg on a pretty good stalk block downfield. Gets Dedman back to where they were with that first down penalty, right around the 2-yard line.
Let's also credit the initial hit, tri-captain Mark Sipkaski.
You can see the Amity Brain Trust over there, not on the field too much, are they?
Second and goal. Guess who? Dedman, but he is taken down at the line of scrimmage. Good defensive surge by the Gales. Getting up, Netavaska off the tackle, along with Sipkaski.
Dedman gets cranked as he comes off tackle on the belly there. Tries to come up inside, and he is hit pretty good. Unable to get that touchdown, and Dedman knocked back probably a half a yard.
Gales dig in, and Amity like to get it into the end zone, and with the go-ahead score here late and deep in the second quarter of play. Third and goal at the 2. Love's going to put it up. Incomplete. Threw it out for DeMeo.
Tried to slant pass to DeMeo, and Love just really underthrew that football. As you see number 11 there, Steve DeMeo, saying, what the heck's going on here, as this ball goes into the turf. Way, way short. Brings up a 4th, and Amity does have a timeout as Coach Marazzi takes it right here.
Rob Darby on the coverage for the Shelton Gales.
Well, the Spartans are right where the Gales were a minute ago, and the Gales were able to get it in. We'll see what the Spartans are able to do right here as they face a 4th and less than 2 on their own the Gales 2-yard line here. Eddie Ardito signaling that it is the Spartans' last timeout with 1:47, I think, to go here in this second quarter. Edward, it's certainly been a move the ball type game for both football teams, something that I think you were a little bit surprised at. Both teams had pretty good days last week, and I think offensively they made some adjustments, as you mentioned at the beginning of the game, and the adjustments certainly have worked out. It's going to take the defense time to catch up, because here we go.
Wishbone for the Amity Spartans at the 2, 4th and goal. Quarterback is Love. Love, play action, throws it out, touchdown Amity to the tight end, Nate Youngberg.
Nathan Youngberg just comes from his right tight end position all the way across the formation. And I don't think the Shelton Gales thought about this play as Love makes a great fake, Peterkin with a good block, and then Love just throws the ball all the way back across the field. And really Youngberg is pretty wide open there for the touchdown. Go-ahead touchdown on the part of the Spartans with 1:40 left to go. They jump back up on top in this very exciting high school football game here at Sim Field. 20-14 with Higgins now attempting the extra point.
Justin Higgins to attempt the extra point. As Buddy said, it's a high snap from center. And with the football is Steve DeMail. DeMail does not get in. The snap was high from center. DeMail took the football and slipped and fell as he approached the goal line. And so the extra point attempt goes awry. But Amity does hold on to that 6-point lead. They lead at 20-14. A minute and 40 seconds remaining here in the first half.
Eddie, that may come back to haunt that football team, especially with R.J. Rondini, who is a pretty sure thing on that extra point. As the Spartans had an opportunity to get 7, they got their 6, but did not get the 7. You see Brett Dedman right there. Not a good sign as the trainer and the doctor are both talking to him about that shoulder, and that's been a chronic problem for him all year. Without Brett Dedman, this football team is a different football team, so we'll have to see what happens here in the second half as the doctor's talking about that separation that he suffered in preseason that kept him out of really the first 2 football games. Very limited action in the first, no action in the second, and did a pretty good job last week of being able to play. And if he can't go on defense, that also is going to hurt that defensive team because he is a two-way player for the Spartans.
Getting set to kick off is Higgins. Kick being returned by Alan Keklik. Keklik almost found the scene as Alan Keklik advances the football across the 40 to the 41-yard line. Gales, very good field position.
Higgins with the kick. He kicks the ball down. They're trying to prevent a long return. They've done that all night, as we've seen. Keklik picks the ball up. He is an excellent return man, as we've seen in the games that we've covered for Shelton, and does a good job in getting the ball back to the 41 where they're ready to go.
First down for the Gales, late stages of the first half. Let's see if the Gales want to go for another score. Field over the middle. It is picked off by Chernovitz at midfield. Brad Chernovitz stepped in front of Dave Peterson at midfield.
Brad Chernovitz does a good job, again, just stepping up from his safety position and just stepping inside the receiver for an interception. And that's a big turnover with 50 seconds. The clock is running. Field just steps back, throws the ball. Chernovitz steps up in front of the receiver. And down at the 50, the Spartans ready to go here, but they have not used their 2-minute drill because they are taking a lot of time coming out. And there's the young man, number 12, loved by his parents. I'll tell you right now, he's done a good job in this first half.
Midfield, first down. That is Kurt Peterkin breaking tackles at the line of scrimmage and beyond as Peterkin takes the football down to the Shelton 37-yard line.
Kurt Peterkin filling in for Brett Dedman, takes over right where Dedman left off as he breaks a tackle right at the line of scrimmage, and this young man drags himself down to around the 35, 37-yard line. Excellent run by Dedman as the Spartans back in business, and they're not utilizing a 2-minute drill, and I don't know why.
Finally took Johnson and Aldo to drag down Peterkin. First down. Love wants to put it up on first down. Rifles it out. It is caught by DeMeo. DeMeo at the 20-yard line before he is taken out of bounds at that point by Keckler.
DeMeo down to the 20 on the trips. Excellent throw by Jeff Love as he comes out and finds DeMeo running down the field. He hits him right in stride, and DeMeo luckily gets out of bounds for the Spartans as they don't have any timeouts. They're down at the 14 with possibly 3, but more likely 2 plays here to go in this first half.
Youngberg sets up tight end to the left side as Amity does not have that double tight end formation, obviously. Jeff Love wings it out, incomplete. It was tipped by Subkaski. DeMeo was out there as one of the intended receivers, along with number 20, Heath Cunningham.
Love just rolls outside on the trips, and he tries to find a receiver. The ball is caught by, or tipped by Subkaski. Receiver unable to get it, but he was in the end zone. Pretty good try as the Spartans are down to 8. They've got to get it in right here on this 2nd and 10 situation, right at their own 14-yard line.
Love pitches out. Peterkin slips and falls. And with no timeouts left, the time will run out. Here in the first half of play from Sim Field, our score, halftime score, is Amity 20 and Shelton 14. We'll be back with the halftime activities right after these messages. At the center of the field, the Amity High School Spartan Marching Band. Halftime score is Amity 20 and Shelton 14.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Amity Marching Band 1990 halftime show, featuring drum majors Christina Colby and Josh Faulkner. Our opening number tonight will be Off the Line. Take it away, Spartan Band. Our next number tonight is America the Beautiful, a tribute to America's sons and daughters serving overseas. You are not forgotten. Marching Band thanks you for your support tonight. See you again at the next game.
That's our halftime festivities here at Sim Field in Woodbridge. Our halftime score is Amity 20, Shelton 14. We'll be back with the second half kickoff right after this. Welcome back, everyone. We're set for the second half kickoff. Amity Spartans will receive it. And kicking off will be Rondini. Got a good one here at Sim Field on our Cable 10 Sports Valley High School football game of the week. Peterkin picks up the football on the far side of the field. And the Amity Spartans were going to be operating their first possession in the second half deep in their own territory. Bob Ayer on the kickoff team on the tackle for Shelton.
Great job by Rondini kicking that football, and although he's not getting a lot of play time other than the kickoffs, he's done a good job in pinning the Spartans. As you can see there, they're right around their own about 17-yard line as he backs them up in this first possession for the Spartans in the second half.
First down for Amity. Brett Dedman is lone back in the backfield. Dedman straight ahead.
Dedman will just come in off tackle on the belly. Doesn't find a big hole, but picks up about 2 yards right there as he runs back into the pile. It's a big series for the Shelton Gales defensively. They would like to get good field position and slow that Spartan offense down, get the ball back themselves, and try and get back on the board here early in this second half.
Second down, football at the 19-yard line, just underway in the second half of play. Dedman again on the pitch. Tries to get outside, but a fine tackle by Andy Aldo.
Corner did not make a block for the Spartans, and it turned Dedman to the sidelines where he was finally wrestled down. See number 20, Heath Cunningham, coming to the outside as Dedman makes a great cut, gets a pretty good block there, and then does not get outside. You see that's DeMayo, not Cunningham, number 11, who just missed the block, allowing Aldo to make the tackle. Dedman ran a long way to pick up about 4 yards. It brings up a big, big third down right here for Amity in their first possession.
Ball is at the 23-yard line. Pitch to Dedman. Dedman slowed up, gets back to the line of scrimmage, maybe runs for one additional yard. That's it. It's going to be a kicking situation.
Dedman comes off tackle on the belly. Not a good job that time blocking as Fetty, along with help from Sylvester, dragged Dedman down, and it is a punt situation for the Spartans.
Butch Marazzi not wanting to take any unnecessary risks at this point of the game. He's got the lead. Football just outside his 25-yard line. The snap to Dedman, who's the punter. High punt. Fair catch was called for at the 47-yard line by Rob Johnson. And the Gales will go on their first offensive series of the second half.
Johnson did a great job on that fair catch. That's a tough situation with a lot of black jerseys around him, and the sophomore did a creditable job on a very high punt by Brett Dedman here. Shelton with excellent field position, as Edward just said, and they're back out in the eye with Easton at tail.
Alan Keklik split out. You see him in the bottom part of your screen. First down. Gales operating with great field possession to begin the second half. Pass to the tight end, Glenn Blanchette, is incomplete. Searwich on the coverage for Amity.
They try to go right away to a play that was successful for them in that long drive as they try to hit Blanchette, and Searwich comes out from his linebacker position and does a good job in getting into Blanchette's face. Brings up a 2nd and 10.
Again, Keklik out to the right side, the bottom part of your screen. Sipkaski is the fullback, Eason is the tailback. Eason gets the call. John spins to midfield, maybe down to the 49-yard line. They're wrapped up by Jennings and Searwich.
Again, David Searwich coming from his linebacker position. You see Gilbert Jennings swim by the offensive center. He'll get a wrap on him, and then Searwich, number 67, comes in to help out. Really, Searwich did the entire job as it brings Easton down with about a 3rd and 8.5 yards right at midfield.
Darby out to the left side, Keklik to the bottom of your screen. On a rollout, Field running the football. Inside the 40, inside the 35-yard line. Hold the phone, there is a flag down on the play.
Eddie Ardito, where that came from, it's going to be against Shelton on a holding play, and that will back the Gales way up. A great run by Danny Field, again on the counter option. The end, Audi is knocked down. Peterkin is in a bind. He has to play pitch. He comes off the pitch to play the quarterback, but he just can't get back inside to get Field, but it'll be brought back. Big play by the Gales, but again, a mistake, and it will be all for naught as they'll be backed up around their own 40 on a big third and about 19.
So there is the indication, the holding penalty against the Shelton Gales. Negates the first down run by Field, and a third and 16. Football now at the 44-yard line of Shelton. Third quarter action, Sim Field in Woodbridge. Split backs now for the Gales. A passing situation. Junior quarterback back to throw, wings it out. It is tipped by one of the Spartans. Brett Cox tipped the football, goes incomplete.
Cox is playing strong safety. He just backs off on this throw. Field comes outside. Good time to throw, although Gilbert Jennings broke through, but Cox right there was the closest guy to it as they tried to hit the sideline route right at the down marker. Brings up a fourth and punting for the Gales.
Pass was intended for Dave Peterson, wide receiver, and it'll be
wow, it is short.
Fetty on the punt.
It is short.
And the football rolls dead at the Amity 35-yard line. So the Spartans get it at that point.
They picked up 15 on the exchange, Eddie, at the 35.
And a break in the action, and we'll call our own timeout. We're back here at Sim Field in Woodbridge. First down for the Amity Spartans, second possession of the second half. Dedman inside handoff, dragged down at the line of scrimmage. Brian Fetty had Dedman around the ankles. Chavs and Keklik also assisting on the play.
Dedman comes on a trap right up the middle. Picks up about 3 yards on that first down carries. You see him struggling to get yardage, but he's wrapped up by a number of the Gales. If you look right down the line of scrimmage, second and about 7 for the Spartans.
Single back offense. There's the wing. There is Kasarka now going in motion off that wing. Love tucks it in, runs the football, and he is dropped by Keklik, coming up from the secondary to make the play.
Love tries to come on the option. He goes back pretty far here as Dedman doesn't make a block, then gets outside him and allows the pursuit, Keklik, to pick Love up. Dedman not making a block, and it puts the Spartans in a big third and about 6.5 to 7 yards here as you look down that Spartan brain trust. Andy Mancini along with Coach Marazzi, and Rick McGowan.
Football now at the 39-yard line of Amity. Third down. Back to throw is Love. Flings it out there. It is knocked down, almost picked off by Andy Aldo at the 45. Pass was intended for 89, the sophomore Greg Pabst.
Love comes back on a kind of half bootleg in the backfield and then throws a very poor pass. Luckily, it's not intercepted as the receiver is double covered. Looks like Heath Cunningham, the intended receiver, or Pabst, the tight end. And luckily for the Spartans, the ball was dropped.
So it'll be a fourth down for the Amity Spartans, a punting situation. Both teams in the second half unable thus far to move the football. Brett Dedman's punt will roll dead at the 37-yard line of Shelton. And that brings us to our weekly feature on Cable 10 Sports, Coach's Tips.
Today we're going to talk a little bit about weightlifting. Weightlifting is becoming an integral part of any football program or athletic program in high school. We must have proper weight training in order for an individual to gain in strength. Today we're going to look a little bit at bench pressing. Today, two young men who are spotting, which is very important to have that spotter, will allow this young man to lift a number of sets that he and his weightlifting coach have determined that he will do in the program. Right now, Jamie is doing 6 sets. He'll do then a number of repetitions, 3 or 4, in the process of each lift. He's working now to develop his chest, his biceps, his upper body area. The importance of weights in off-season have become more important over the last 10 years. We want to be conditioned, but we want to do it right. So when you're doing weightlifting, make sure you involve your high school coach or your weight trainer. We'll see you next week for another part.
We're back.
First and 10, Shelton.
At Sim Field in Woodbridge. Football at the 37. Amity has had the football, 2 possessions, second half, unable to move the football. Gales, this is their second offensive possession. Amity leads it 20-14. John Eason, the tailback. Eason barrels across the 40-yard line before he's taken down by linebacker Slomsky.
Eason comes on the blast. Sapkowski just kicks out right at the end position, and then it allows Eason to step back up inside. Pretty good blocking along that front. You saw number 65, Dwayne Hager, getting a piece of Brett Cox, and it's a pretty good 5-yard gain for the Gales on their first possession or first carry here in this drive.
Second down, 2nd and 5 for the Gales at their 42. Give to Sapkowski, and Mark takes it close to the 45-yard line before he's taken down by Jennings. Also in assisting on the tackle, Jimmy Gooch.
At 67, David Turowich. All in on the tackle for Amity.
3rd and short coming up for the Shelton Gales.
About 3, 3rd down and 2.
Wide receivers either side of the field. Sapkowski is the fullback, Eason the tailback. Sapkowski does not get the yardage for the first down. Stopped inside by the interior lineman. Play led by number 42, Brett Cox.
Put his head in,
put his head in there.
The first guy, Gilbert Jennings, looks like he gets a piece of him. That's Gilbert Jennings along with Slomsky and Surwich. Brett Cox also, as it brings up a 4th and short, and the Gales are going to go back into punt formation. We'll see if they do kick the ball, but right now they're not willing to risk it inside their own 45.
There's a long snap, and Fetty gets it off, and he sails it over the head of Cunningham, and it just does make that plane of the end zone, and it'll be brought out an automatic touchdown. The Spartans will have it at their 20.
Great kick from his 45. That's a 55-yard punt for the Gales, and it backs the Spartans right up on their own 20-yard line. As you see the ball go over the receiver's head, that's Heath Cunningham, and will just make it into the end zone. He almost stopped that football on the goal line of the 1. As you see right there, it just gets about a yard inside that goal line.
All it has to do, though, is just touch that plane, just rest on that goal line, and it's an automatic touchback. Here you see the camera angle, line of scrimmage. Quick pitch. Dedman to the short side of the field. There is a flag dropped in the Amity backfield as Dedman gets some good first down yardage. But let's await that call. Fetty in on the tackle for Shelton.
It's going to be a hold against Amity, and it's going to back that football back up. As Amity broke the wing that time, they come out and double tight with 2 wide receivers. You'll see Dedman see if we can pick up the hold in there as Dedman just takes it to the outside, picked up excellent yardage, but it's all going to be brought back. As he turns the field, tough to find that penalty, but there it was. You saw the yellow flag on the bottom of your picture. Dedman was across the 30 for the first down, but it's all brought back, and the Spartans are really backed up now around the 10-yard line. It'll be 1st and 20.
1st and 20 from the Amity 10. There you see the indication of the holding penalty. Reminder that at the conclusion of the game, be making the presentation of the Fitzpatrick's Player of the Game. Amity backed up deep in their own territory on a 1st and 20. The senior quarterback is Love. Love the pitch out. Wide side of the field, Brett Dedman. pitch to Dedman, and Dedman gets a whole lot better field position. Subkaski finally rides him out, but Dedman picks up on the first down, about 15 yards on the carry, just what the doctor ordered.
Dedman comes on. This time you get a good block on the corner. Right there you see the block by the outside receiver, and that looks like Stevie DeMeo, and he just takes the guy right down, but Dedman pulls ahead and picks up 15 yards, and it's a second and makeable situation as the Spartans are out of that end zone.
14 yards, give or take a yard. Second down and 6. Love wants to put it up. As a receiver out there, in and out of the hands of the big tight end, Nathan Youngberg. One of the Gales hit him and crunched him there, Subkaski. And Billy Dean.
Youngberg comes off the line of scrimmage. You see Love step back out of the fake to Dedman and then just throws the ball into the middle. Big guy doesn't hold on to it as he's cracked pretty good as he comes down with it. Looked like number 24, Robbie Johnson, who's had a heck of a game in the secondary for the Shelton Gales. Big third down here.
3rd and 6 coming up for Amity. Love under a rush and throws the football out. It'll go as an incompletion. Subkaski was closest to the football. Dedman was in the area, and Ray Sawyer was pressuring Love.
Love gets good pressure inside and is really unable to get the ball off. He does a good job just dumping it down. As number 55, Ray Sawyer, comes off the center block. Got a piece of Love, and Love really just throws it away. Dedman was the intended receiver. Brings up a 4th down, and Dedman is back to punt. Good job by the Gales defensively that time.
4th down and a kicking situation. Almost blocked. And it was indicated that the punt was partially tipped, and the football rolls dead at the 44-yard line of Amity, and that's where the Gales will go on offense.
See, Dedman takes a long time getting it off here as Brad Chernovich tries to get outside and get a piece of that guy. He let him get over him, and that's where the tip comes, and the Shelton Gales are in great field position right at the 44.
Glenn Blanchette tight end to the right side. Wide receivers either side. Subkaski goes in motion, and the pitch to Eason. Eason breaks the tackle at the line of scrimmage. Coming up, though, to make the play from the secondary, Brad Chernovich.
We said they were going to use that and run that motion as they send a little fullback motion, and then Dedman right there misses the tackle. Number 12, Brad Chernovich, comes up from his safety position, and he nails him for about a yard loss as Easton has nowhere to go and can't turn that corner. Good job by number 12, Brad Chernovich, the sophomore. He's about 6'3", about 175 pounds. He's hit 2 interceptions, done a good job in this football game.
Subkaski goes in motion to the short side. They give it to Subkaski, and Subkaski gets it inside the 40-yard line. So the Gales show a little different look as Subkaski went in motion, came back and took the handoff. Sirowidge on the tackle.
And that's the little play they had to have off at the counter. Subkaski stops, comes back, good trap block right there on Gooch, and it puts him into the about 5 yards for that first down as they are within 4-down territory as they've crossed that 40. So they have the opportunity to take that 4-down territory and go for it if they don't convert here.
Wide receivers either side of the field. Eason. And Eason's going to get it down close to the yardage for the first down. Don't believe he has made it. Nathan Youngberg first to reach Eason.
Easton comes on the blast. You see just the blocks down and the fullback leading, and there's no one at home on the corner. It allows Easton. There's a good block by Subkaski on Cox. Cox misses the tackle before Easton is wrapped up. He is very close to that first down. We'll see the measurement right here. And it is a first down, as you can see the signal by Eddie Ardito, the referee.
By the length of the football, John Eason.
They're right at about the 33-yard line. Excellent drive mounted by the Gales with 2:11 left to go here in this third quarter.
Andy Aldo checks in at wide receiver, replaces Dave Peterson at one of the wideouts. Gales have a first down, time running out here in the third quarter, and they are 6 points behind in this football game. Darby out to the right side, Aldo out to the left, Sipkaski in motion. Give inside to Eason, and Eason gets down to the 30-yard line.
Eason comes straight ahead with that little motion. People are running by him there. Looked like the ball dropped on the ground before Gooch came off to help on the tackle, but it is a pretty good gain here of about 2.5 to 3 yards for the Gales.
Sirowich, or rather Gooch, was helped on the play, assisted by Dave Sirowich, 5'10", 165-pound junior linebacker. Second and long for the Gales, split backs. Eason along with Sipkaski. Eason off the right side. John barreling his way, the little running back, for a good pickup on second down before he's stopped by Nate Youngberg.
Spartans are catching blocks here, and they're allowing Eason to come around the corner. Sipkaski with a good block right there on the corner, freeing Eason as Cox just hand tackles him. Another block there on DeMeo before Nathan Youngberg knocks him to the ground, and he's very close again to that first down, right around the 25-yard line.
Third and short, 3rd and 2. Football just outside the 25-yard line. Blanchette checked that. Croc, the tight end, now to the left side. A movement on that offensive line, and that's going to go against the Shelton Gales.
That'll bring up a third, and instead of a run situation, that may put the Gales into a pass situation, as there was illegal procedure. One of the Shelton offensive linemen looked like the tackle right here in front of us is going to move, and it will bring it back, and that's the guard, number 65, Leon Sylvester, and that is a big play right here, as the Gales now will have to go 7 to get that first down. Still, though, they are in 4-down territory.
Third down. Third now, though, and 7 for the Gales. Changes the complexion. Field rolls, throws, completes it to Blanchette, the tight end, for the first down before he's taken down by Slomski.
Good job by Glenn Blanchette, just getting outside and outrunning the linebacker, Michael Slomski, for that first down. They used it earlier in the game, came back to it here on a bootleg, and it is an excellent throw by Danny Field. Leads Blanchette, and Blanchette has everything that he needs for that first down as they're inside the 20, knocking on the door.
Football spotted at the 18-yard line. First down for the Gales. This ought to be the last play of the third quarter. 4 ticks left. Sipkaski stopped at the line of scrimmage. Sirowich first to get him, along with Brett Dedman. That'll do it for the third quarter. Our third quarter score, Amity 20, Shelton 14. Welcome back, everyone. Second down coming up for the Shelton Gales. Inside the Amity 20-yard line. That is Sipkaski going in motion. Field drops, throws out into the end zone, incomplete. Intended for Alan Keklik, just out of the outstretched hands of Alan Keklik.
They come with a little fake back to Sipkaski off the motion, and then Field just tries to hit Alan Keklik straight down the field. Stephen DeMeo on coverage does a good job, but Keklik was behind him. Ball a little bit over his hand, just could not get it, and it's a big third down right about the 17-yard line for the Gales.
3rd and 10 for Shelton. Passing situation. Field hands off, however, Billy Dean streaks up the middle. Billy Dean down to the 10-yard line.
And that's a great call from the Shelton Gales as they run a little draw. Everybody just rushing what they thought was a 3rd and 10 pass, and it's a first down. That's a great call by the Gales as everybody inside just takes off, and Dean just comes straight up the middle, and he goes rambling down inside the 10 to about the 5-yard line where it is a 1st and goal.
DeMeo and Sirowich combined on the tackle, but the ball down to the 5, 1st and goal for the Gales. Billy Dean off the right side. Dean fights his way to the 2-yard line.
Dean with a great run, and I don't know why the Gales have not kept that young man in the football game. He hurt him in the 2nd quarter with some great runs, and here he comes back again, going off tackle down very close to that touchdown as he is running very, very hard and looking for the end zone. They're 2nd and about a yard on about the 1.5. As you look right down that line of scrimmage.
We'll spot it at the 2-yard line. Inside handoff, Subkaski shy of the goal line, but he is close on the 2nd and goal.
Straight ahead on the belly, and that's the place Subkaski scored earlier on. They shut it down, the Spartans do, as they get pretty good penetration from that right side, and that's probably David Sirowich, who just submarined right through the guard center hole for a excellent stop, and they're right where they were a minute ago, right about the 1+ yard line. Big 3rd down.
3rd down, I formation for the Gales, 3rd and goal. The quarterback is Field. Subkaski, touchdown, Shelton.
Subkaski gets his 3rd score of the football game. The same play that was just stopped. This time Subkaski gets hit right there, and then his momentum and drive over and into the end zone. A 1-yard run, Subkaski, and now the all-important extra point.
R.J. Rondini, senior Tri-Campton, with our score tied, 20 all, 12, check that, 10-14 remaining. R.J. winding up. The kick is up. It is good. The Gales have taken a 1-point lead. They lead it 21-20, 10-14 remaining.
Been a great game, Edward. From the opening whistle, Spartans jumped up 14-0. Shelton came back, tied it. The Spartans scored, missed the extra point. We said earlier that might be an Achilles heel, and here is R.J. Rondini putting this Shelton Gale football team ahead with 10-14 left to go, 21-20. We'll see what kind of men the Spartans are made of as they get an opportunity now with 10-14 to try and get back the lead that the Gales have just taken away from them.
R.J. Rondini hurt late in that in last weekend's game against the East Haven Yellow Jackets. Matter of fact, just before R.J. and the other varsity members were ready to be going out of the football game in favor of the substitutes, hurt, his elbow hurt, unable to have any contact this evening, but he was able to do the kicking off and the place kicking on extra points, and he has converted all 3 times, and that is the difference in this football game, a 1-point margin. Peterkin along with Kasarka back deep for Amity. End over end. Kasarka behind the wedge, and Steve burrows his way to the 30-yard line.
The Spartans are doing a poor job of getting the wedge out of the way, as Stephen Kasarka just ran into 5 of his own guys. Really had no place to go. The Spartans dropped that wedge back to the 30, and that's where Stephen was tackled, and the wedge never got ahead, never got upfield. You'll see Kasarka now, watch who he runs into. He doesn't run into a white shirt, he runs into all black guys, and they really stop him right at the 30. These guys just don't get that wedge moving forward.
1st and 10 for Amity. Double tight end. Love rolling, running the football, dragged out of bounds. Andy Aldo.
Love tries to come outside now as they try and roll, and Love just picks his way forward, gets back to the 30, about the 30-plus yard line. He picks up about a half a yard. That's not what the Spartans need right here. They need some big offense from that guy, number 33.
I need new eyeglasses. That was Fetty on the initial hit of Love. Deadman through the center of the line. Good individual tackle by tri-captain Mark Sipkaski. Sipkaski a standout both sides of the football for the Gales.
There's Deadman off tackle on the belly. 34 Sipkaski with a great tackle, keeping Deadman from a 5-yard gain. We've seen Deadman get in that secondary. If you don't get him, those linebackers, he's going to ramble. Good job by Mark Sipkaski, who has had a great game here in this football game.
3rd and 5. Again, Deadman, but he is stacked up at the line of scrimmage. Again, Sipkaski.
Deadman tries to go off tackle. There meets pretty good penetration there and doesn't get more than about 2 as it brings up a 4th and a punt situation for Amity. Not a good offensive series as they're going to be forced to give the ball right back to the Shelton Gales, who mounted a great drive the last time they had it, and a drive for the Gales could put this game out of reach for the Spartans if they can get on that scoreboard again.
Rob Johnson along with Keklik back deep, but Deadman booms it over their heads, and it's going to die inside the field of play at the 2-yard line.
That's a great kick for the Spartans, and that may be the lift that they need right here to give their defense a chance to get them the ball back with pretty good field position as Brett Deadman kicked the football to the 2. Great job by Heath Cunningham, number 20, in getting downfield to cover it as the Shelton Gales just let it go, and this football will roll, and Heath Cunningham will down it. Luckily, he doesn't fall into the end zone because it could be a touchback if he got the ball over the end line. So great job by the Spartans.
Danfield at his 2 after the Deadman booming punt. Inside handoff given to Sipkaski. Jimmy Gooch on the tackle.
Shelton is not going to risk a turnover as they just come straight ahead with their power runner, Sipkaski. Mark turns inside, finds a little seam, but good job closing it down right there. Number 75, Jamie Gooch, or Mike Slomsky, excuse me, number 35, Mike Slomsky, the linebacker, closes it down.
Darby checks in, wide receiver out to the left side. I formation for the Gales, deep in their own territory, 4th quarter action. The pitch. A loose
ball in the end zone.
And it's going to be a safety as one of the Shelton players batted the football out of the end line. A flag was dropped in the end zone, and we'll wait for the officials to unravel things. On the pitch out, the football was
Boy, what a turnaround
fumbled.
This is going to be, because the Shelton Gales risked an option. The pitch went to the outside guy. It's a safety, and it's going to give the Spartans now a 1-point lead, and it puts the ball in the court of the Gales as the Gales will have to kick to the Spartans. Watch the pitch now come off the shoulder pads. Here's the pitch. It comes off the shoulder pads, and there is one of the Amity people who was right up in it. Tackle made by number 42, Brett Cox. Then the ball goes out of the end zone, and it looks like the touch came from the Gales, who kicked the ball out of the end zone, and it will give the Spartans a 1-point lead, 22-21. And how about that, Edward, for a turnaround?
And before we get back to this exciting game, let's break for this timeout. We're back at Sim Field in Woodbridge. Amity has just converted on a safety. The Gales were backed up. It was a pitch out to Billy Dean. He was hit by Cox in the end zone, rolled out of the end zone, and on a free kick, Shelton is forced to kick to Amity, and Peterkin takes the ball back on the free kick back to his 46-yard line. Alan Keklik on the tackle.
Kurt Peterkin does a great job in getting the ball and then just taking it straight ahead across the 45 to the 46-yard line, where the Spartans will start. 6:52 left to go in this game.
First down. Double tight end for the Amity Spartans, who like to eat up clock at this point. Brett Dedman off the left side. 6 minutes and change left in this football game on our Cable 10 Sports Valley High School football game of the week. Second down, 2nd and 8. Football at the Amity 48-yard line.
And I don't want to be early, but if Coach Branco was upset about last year's game, this one's going to be even tougher to swallow, as his football team came all the way back, and now a safety has taken them out of the lead with 6 minutes and change to go here.
Love rolling, throwing, and completing the pass to Nathan Youngberg at the 35-yard line. Before
great bootleg action.
Gales take him down there, Alan Keklick.
As you look down the bench, the big guy, number 81, is wide open coming across. Jeff Love rolls, wide open receiver. He hits the big man, number 81, for the first down, drags himself down to the 35-yard line.
First down at the 35-yard line. Single back offense for the Amity Spartans. Give his to Brett Dedman on first down, and dragging him down is Alan Keklick, who's played an outstanding game for the Shelton Gales.
Dedman with the football is dragged down. He's got no place to go, and he is down and coming off the field, but it's a 2-yard loss for the Spartans as it brings up a 2nd and about 12. Clock now is a big enemy of those Gales, as the Spartans, as Eddie said, would just like to run some first downs and run that clock out.
5 minutes and change left here. Amity possesses a 1-point lead. Amity 22, Shelton 21. Peterkin now is the lone setback. Love, back to throw, incomplete. Intended in the direction of Nate Youngberg. Second down pass goes incomplete.
You see Love come to the outside on the bootleg. Gilbert Jennings in front of him. Love is going way back. He is just running 10 yards behind the line of scrimmage, and that just makes the throw too far. As he throws into coverage, he had Youngberg over, and he just misses Youngberg, and the penalty is going to move the ball back to about the close to midfield, right around the 45 for the Spartans.
5 minutes and 2 ticks left here in this football game. Second down and long for Amity. Get out the calculators to how many yards they need. Trips to the right side. 2nd and long. Love screens it. Down to the 40. 35-yard line. Amity almost picks it up on that one play.
Great screen that time by Brett Dedman as he just goes to the far side. They run trips. Everybody reacts to the trips. You see Dedman down at the bottom. He just stands there. Love looks at the screen all the way. He's lucky to get it off. He does a great job in throwing Dedman the ball. And then watch this young man run with the football. He's going to be run into by his own man. Donald Perry was on a block, and he breaks away and gets himself very close to that first down yardage.
Andy Aldo eventually on the tackle. Third down. Love himself straight ahead on a quarterback keeper.
Looks like a first down. Good job by Jeffrey Love as he's going to pull that football team very close to a first down. They stop that clock. It's either a measurement or they're going to have it. And that's a big play for Jeffrey as he gets that first down. 4:11 left to go. The Spartans moving the ball. And you see Coach Marazzi now getting a play ready to go into that football game. The Spartans on a drive here. After that turnover by the Shelton Gales, a big turnover in their own end zone, as we're going to be under 4 minutes by the time Amity spots or snaps that football.
Football at the 24-yard line of Shelton. The clock, the big factor right now, with Amity holding on to the football and a 1-point lead. Love. Dedman. Dedman to the outside. 10. Inside the 10-yard line and close to the goal line as he is finally taken out of bounds on the near sidelines. The outstanding senior running back, Brett Dedman, finally driven out by Brian Fetty and Rob Johnson.
Watch the guy get to the outside. He just gets to the outside, and one-on-one, you're going to not bring this young man down. Great try there, but Dedman just runs out of the hands of that tackler, and he is down right around the 1-yard line. An excellent run by this guy who has done a great job this evening for the Spartans.
Straight ahead as we return to live action. Flags are dropped on the play. 3 minutes and change left here in the fourth and final period at Sim Field.
Looks like there's going to be illegal motion from the Spartans as they're down on the 1 and they don't enjoy that prosperity. They just make a mistake. They can't get it in, and they're backed up now to the 6, and it keeps those Gales alive here with 3:34 left to go in this game. Right at the 5, so you can see they were right on the goal line, and they're now back to their wishbone set. Dedman at fullback.
Peterkin and Kasarka are the halfbacks. Kasarka.
What a run! What a run by number 34, Steven Kasarka, who we've seen very little in the second half carry the ball. He's been playing defense, but watch this young man, the junior, follow his fullback, Brett Dedman, right into an opening. Watch him get his head down right here, and he says, I'm getting in the end zone. Great run by 34, Steven Kasarka, who's done an outstanding job at the corner on defense. And this is a big kick right here, Eddie. 28-21. The Spartans would like to have that extra point right here with 3:26 left to go.
Justin Higgins kicks it through the uprights. And Amity leads it 29-21.
It makes it possible for Shelton to tie this football game, but their major weapon, R.J. Rondini, would not be able to kick a tying extra point. They do get in, they've got to go for 2. So the Spartans right now with a 3:26 time limit in this football game are sitting in the driver's seat after that big, and I hate to say it again, but that big turnover in the end zone by Shelton.
Three minutes and 25 seconds remain in this football game. Gales can't tie it. They need a touchdown and a 2-point conversion. Higgins will be kicking it off for the Amity Spartans. Back deep, Aldo and Keklik.
Hey, tell Jeffrey, push it.
Higgins, squib kicks it. Keklik on the return. And Keklik is stacked up in the vicinity of the 32-yard line.
We'll see here now that the Amity Spartans will go into a prevent as the ball just comes down the middle. Good job by, looks like Aldo, number 28, just getting the ball back up the field. Good field position, but right now the clock is the enemy of the Shelton Gales, and their best offensive weapon is not the pass, so we'll see how they handle it here. They've got to go approximately 67 yards. The same situation of last week with the Cheshire Rams.
I formation for the Gales, football at the 33-yard line. Field is going to air it out. Field rolls, throws, incomplete, intended for Keklik on the far side of the field.
Trying to get that short yardage. They're going to have to go up top for a big one. They just roll outside. Danny Field, Subkaski in front of him along with Eason blocking, and he throws the ball over the head of the intended receiver as the ball goes out of bounds. Coverage by number 42, Brett Cox. Brings up a 2nd and 10.
3 minutes and a tick left in this football game.
Think of a screen pass here, or maybe that draw play that they were successful with earlier.
In motion, that is Eason. And Field throws it out to Glenn Blanchette. Might have been a little bit of communication problem because Blanchette was looking one way and the pass went the other.
Well, they tried to run Easton out. You see Easton into the outside, and then they try and get it to Blanchette. But I'll tell you, number 81, Nathan Youngberg, had his arms up, and he's a tough guy to throw over at 6'6", 6'7". They were unable to make the completion. It's a third down. Possibly they're in four-down territory. I don't think they're going to want to give the ball back, although they do have their timeouts intact, so they could do it and still get time on the clock.
Third down. On a draw play, Billy Dean through the center of the line. Billy Dean bouncing off tacklers, and he might have picked up the first down at the 45-yard line. Outstanding run. Slomsky and Youngberg on the tackle.
Amity's been fooled twice on that draw for big plays. As Billy Dean is down, he is slow to get up as he is injured, but this young man has done a great job as we come back off to throw to the tight end to the draw play, as there is a timeout here, and Billy Dean is down. He was hurt on the tackle, and that young man has had a great football game for the Shelton Gales. Hopefully it's not a serious injury, but he looked as if he was grabbing his knee, and we'll see as the training staff, along with Coach Branca, out there with this young man. Excellent draw play. Danny Field clears the way as he sells the pass, and then Field does it all, or excuse me, Dean does it all himself. He runs hard, down low, aggressive football player. As a sophomore, he's going to be a young man who's going to have to be reckoned with in that backfield. He wants to get up, and he will. Excellent job, as it is that right knee that he is walking off very slowly, but under his own power, and hopefully that young man will be back today, if not today, next week, because he can play football. A young sophomore for the Gales. And they may have found themselves a running back. Excuse me, a young senior. Wow, thought he was a sophomore.
Billy Dean, one tough football player. Nice young man, too, from Shelton High School. Split backs. Field over the middle. It is deflected off of Blanchette's hands. Goes incomplete. Brad Chernovitz on the coverage.
Brad Chernovitz sits in that safety position. We saw he's got two already interceptions. The ball comes off Blanchette's hands right here, and unable to bring it in. Brad Chernovitz is on his way down right there, unable to get back to it. Blanchette almost gets back for the reception.
Second down, split backs. 2nd and 10. It is almost picked off by Dedman. It was intended for Subkaski out of the backfield, so it goes as an incompleted pass. Third down coming up.
Dedman does a great job on coverage. He's a drop end. He just comes off and plays Subkaski almost with the interception, and didn't have anyone in front of him if he did come up with it. 2:27, again a big third. This is definitely four-down territory though for the Gales. They do have 2 downs right here.
Wideouts either side of the field. Junior quarterback. Rolling, still rolling with the football. Now unleashes it downfield. It is incomplete. And a flag is dropped on the play on the third down pass.
Shelton may have had an offensive lineman downfield from where that was dropped. Stephen DeMeo on the coverage almost came up with the interception. We'll see here what Eddie Ardito has, and it's going to be an illegal lineman downfield. We're trying to confer here as you see Field roll out as to whether this is a loss of down situation. The ball is thrown. You'll see number 11, DeMeo, right there come up, almost get the interception. It is not a loss of down, so Amity will refuse the penalty and bring up a 4th down right here, and this is the football game. 4th, 10, Shelton needs a first down. They will take a timeout to talk it over. 2:17 left to go here in the game.
And the closest Shelton receiver to the pass was Andy Aldo on that last play. Buddy mentioned earlier that Amity will tackle foreign in their non-league game for the 1990 football season. For the Gales, they are in action next weekend at Finn Stadium as they go up against Housatonic League opponent Lyman Hall out of Wallingford. Also, this gives me an opportunity to thank our spotter up here in the press box at Sim Field. Fine sophomore, happens to be injured right now for the Amity Spartans, John Arminio. John, thank you very much.
And there you see the Spartan who has disrobed as he is into this football game, along with the crowd on this side of the field, as he will get back into costume here for a camera. But there is the Amity Spartan, who, like the rest of the Amity fans, are certainly pleased at this point in the football game that the Spartans have been able to come back from a 21-20 deficit and right now enjoy that 29-21 lead. The last play of the football game offensively for Shelton, unless they convert a big 4th and 10 here. Coach McGowan coming off the field, and right now we're ready to play.
Andy Aldo out to the left side. You see him in the bottom part of your screen. 4th and 10. The Gales need a big one to stay alive. Play action. Field. Looking. Throwing. It is caught. Blanchette first down on the far side of the field.
A lot of time to throw, and Glenn Blanchette wide open right at the first down marker. They have run this all year. Blanchette just getting himself open, gets the first down. The junior with great presence, along with Danny Field, who could have run it. He knows his run is not going to get him a first down, and he completes the pass to keep the drive alive and this game alive. And what a football game, right on the 43, and here we go, 2:01 left to go in this game.
Darby out to the right, Aldo out to the left. First down. The junior quarterback Field, looking, scrambling, throwing, incomplete. Kasarka on the coverage and diving for the football, if I can get his number, for Shelton.
While Eddie's fishing for that number, we got Kurt Peterkin, good pressure backside. Here's the throw, you'll see it's down into the turf. It bounced, looks like number 28. And good coverage by Stephen Kasarka. That's Andy Aldo, right, Edward?
Andy Aldo, right, bud? Under 2 minutes to go. A screen's going to be set up. And it goes incomplete. The lineman of Shelton wisely stayed away. D'Agostine was out there. The closest Shelton eligible receiver was Sapkaski in the area.
Sapkaski gets tied up in here as he does not get out to the screen. Audi with good pressure, and the ball is just overthrown as Kurt Peterkin was right on the back of the screen man, Mr. Sapkaski, and Shelton has taken their second time out here with 1:51 left to go. Again, a big third down play for the Gales.
Football now at the 43-yard line of Amity. Here's the situation. We've got 1 minute and 51 seconds remaining in this football game. Amity leads it by a score of 29-21. Shelton has a 3rd and 10 that they are faced with. Moments ago, it was a critical 4th and 10 play for the Gales, and it was Field connecting with his tight end, Glenn Blanchette, to keep the drive alive.
Eddie, one of the pretty Amity cheerleaders here, involved in this game like everyone else. The Spartans would love to go 2-2 in this, as do the Shelton Gales, and this is a big one for both teams at this almost midpoint of the year.
3rd down and 10 at the 43, a deep drop. Field completes it on the far side of the field, out of bounds on a pass that resulted in the Shelton receiver going out of bounds. DeMayo on the coverage.
Eddie, they're right back in action here as it's a great throw right at the out of bounds or down marker. You see that receiver, Keklik with a great catch in their back.
First down. Again, the pass complete and going out of bounds. Is that Keklik? Yes, it is. Alan Keklik, an outstanding job for the tri-captain. 1:35 remaining in this football game. Football at the 27-yard line.
What a game, Edward. This is going to go down to the end, as we said. It's a toss-up.
Field rolling, throwing downfield. It is up for grabs, incomplete in the end zone. So Kasarka is on the coverage. It was intended for Rob Darby. Steve DeMayo also on the coverage.
They got him in the end zone as Field has worked his way down to throwing distance to the end zone. You'll see a great job by 34 inside. He gets the first tip on the ball, and then Stephen DeMayo gets the hit on the receiver to prevent the catch. But it's 3rd, 5, Shelton within throwing distance as they've been able to get that ball down to the end zone.
Football at the 27-yard line. 3rd and 5. Gales have 1 minute and 26 seconds remaining. Field has done an outstanding job. Field throwing incomplete on that sideline pattern. Intended again for Alan Keklik. Brett Cox on the coverage. So it comes down again to a 4th down call.
Try to roll the receiver right to that down marker where they've been throwing to all night, and Field just unable to get the completion as Brett Cox was there. They tried to hit number 21, Keklik. Here we are again, 4th. The football game rides on this play.
Ball at the 27. The Gales need 5 yards to keep it alive. They give the handoff to John Eason, and I don't believe he made it. John Eason on a delayed handoff, tied up by Slomsky. The ball will go over on downs to the Amity Spartans.
Shelton has 1 timeout. As you see, the attempted draw this time with Eason. The Spartans drag him down about a yard short, you'll see there, and he does not get it. We'll see what the Spartans choose to do here. Shelton has 1 timeout. The clock is running. There is Brad Chernovitz, Steve DeMeo, that defensive group, along with Kurt Peterkin, who had done an excellent job in this second half, keeping the Shelton Gales from the W.
Jeff Love, the quarterback, the senior quarterback, just touches his knee to the turf.
Amity only has to snap the ball 1 more time, unless the Gales utilize what I think is a 3rd timeout. I know they've taken 2. They might have taken that 3rd one already, as the clock is down to 36 seconds, 25 to get it in play, and the Spartans, if they wait a minute here, may not have to snap the ball again.
On the 2nd down.
The ball is stopped now. Shelton has taken their last timeout, and the Spartans, with a 3rd down situation, need to snap it 1 more time.
Our thanks, buddy, to both football coaches from these fine high school football programs, and also a thanks to the Director of Athletics up here at Amity Regional High School, Paul Mingo, for providing us with the fine press facilities. Unless anything strange and odd happens in the final 23 seconds of this football game, the Amity Spartans will emerge victorious by an 8-point margin by a score of 29-21.
Well played game on the part of both football teams.
Jeff Love touches down his knee.
And that's all she wrote, Edward, for the Shelton Amity Spartan football game. A great one.
And that's it. As the final seconds are counted down here at Sinfield and Woodbridge, our final Amity 29 and Shelton 21. We'll be back with the after these messages. Once again, our final score was Amity 29, Shelton 21. On behalf of Buddy Chernovitz, Clements saying good night, everyone.